Bozeman, Montana. And I had a funny feeling that they might have a Whole Foods here, and sure enough they do. So I'm going to go shop at my favorite grocery store that I'm familiar with, and it has my favorite items. Just driving into Bozeman right now, I was a little surprised how it's kind of a spread out city, it seems to me. And kind of flat lands, but then mountains, pretty mountains surrounding it. Very hazy day today, so it's kind of ruining the views, unfortunately. I think it's incredibly sad that there's so many fires going on now, that it's ruining our skies, the views, the air quality, especially for somebody like me who has asthma. It's a great concern to me that we have these worsening fires going on around the world, basically. I don't think it's going to get better. I really don't. I think it's going to get worse, which worries the heck out of me. We had a bad fire where I live in Sonoma County back in 2020, I think it was, and the skies just had this brownish haze and the smell of smoke, like you were standing inside of a fireplace or something, or standing right next to a campfire. It just went on like that for weeks. And I felt like I just had to sort of stay inside the whole time, which I got a little stir crazy, and I was running my air cleaners, my air filters, 24/7, which helped a little bit. But I got kind of depressed, it was just felt apocalyptic to me. And so nowadays when we have clear blue skies, I just feel so much gratitude for it, because now I can compare. A few years ago, there was those terrible, terrible fires in Australia that was killing so many animals, including a lot of the iconic bears. There in Australia, and it killed hundreds of thousands of them, I think. And I cried when I read that news. They're slow moving, they can't get away fast, It's not like a deer who can run away, or rabbits or whatever. And I just cried to hear that news. And they could hear, people who live nearby could hear their screams. So, it's horrific. It's horrific what's happening. And it's a huge concern for me. I feel so bad for future generations and what they're going to have to deal with if we don't do something now, Needless to say, when I vote for a politician, I always look at what their climate record is, because that's top of mind concern for me. I have definitely noticed a change over the last last 10 to 15
In 1,000 feet, turn right onto US 191 South, West Main Street.
Over the last 10 to 15 years, you know, I've noticed weather patterns changing. I'm a pretty intuitive person, you know. I'm very observant and intuitive person, and
At the light, turn right onto US 191 South, West Main Street.
I think I notice things a lot more than other people. Kind of the canary in the coal mine as well, you know. And I'm an intuitive and an introvert.
Continue on US 191 South for 1 mile.
I'm a hyper empathic person as well. So, yeah, I think we need to be better stewards of our planet. So there's a shot of some of the mountains around Bozeman. Some more there in the distance. That blue actually looks like that blue right there. Looks like a lake, but it's not. It's just the tops of some buildings. But yeah, I think there's a lot of great skiing to be had here in Bozeman. And apparently a lot of celebrities move here for the beauty of the area. But yeah, from what I've seen so far, it's kind of flat, but there's mountains around. I'm loving my new shopping bag that I got from Glacier National Park with the moose. So awesome. I've had my Trader Joe's bags for years and they're getting kind of decrepit. Just finished shopping at Whole Foods, and just an interesting observation. You know, when I went to Albertsons, it was all plastic bags and the checkout line, and plastic is not great for the environment. There's millions and millions and millions and millions and millions and millions of plastic bags in the ocean and around the planet, and they don't die. They basically don't die. They do not disintegrate. They'll be around for thousands of years if we're around that long. But Whole Foods had paper bags, which is better than plastic. At least it's compostable. But I'm not so sure paper is great either, because it's, you know, using trees. So in California, we've been trained, because they charge you 10 cents if you do not bring your own bags. They'll charge you 10 cents a bag. So it's trained us Californians to bring our own bags. And I was practically, I think, the only person in that entire store. And it was a big store and a lot of people that brought their own bags. And I think it's primarily because California voted to charge 10 cents. And there's nothing like, you know, hitting the wallet that trains new habits, makes new habits. So, but I'm grateful for that, because as I said earlier, I'm concerned about the environment. Okay, well, I went a bit crazy at Whole Foods, and I'm a little worried I'm going to find room for all this in my small refrigerator. But I'm probably won't have access to health food for the next 2 to 3 weeks, or at least 2 weeks. So I thought I better kind of get what I can now. I have sort of a gourmet palate, and so I'm not happy unless I can get stuff at a health food store. And so I was able to find some of my favorite things. I plan on making like a chicken taco salad. So I got some chicken breast. I got some green onions to put in there. I got, I don't know where it is, but I got, oh yeah, it's down in here. I got an ear of corn. I got some late July tortilla chips. I got some of this chipotle smoked red jalapeno powder to make sort of a ranch dressing out of that for the taco salad. I got tomatoes. I've got avocado to put on it, so it's going to be quite the delicious taco salad. I'll also probably put some kale in there, cabbage. I didn't get any cheese really. My other favorite breakfast is smoked salmon, so I'm going to do this smoked salmon with cream cheese, and I've got cucumbers, tomatoes, and the cream cheese has chives and onions in there, so that should be really tasty. Treated myself and got some dark chocolate that's made with coconut sugar. There's no refined sugar in here. So coconut sugar doesn't hurt my arthritis as much. Got some smoked turkey breast and some cheese so I can make some sandwiches. I got some plain whole yogurt. One of my favorite snacks is pistachios. I'm going to try these for the first time, also made out of coconut sugar, coconut and cashew sandwich cookies. This is my absolute favorite tuna. Oh, if you haven't tried this, you've got to try it. The one in olive oil. It's rich. You need just a small amount because it's so rich, but man, this is good stuff. Really good. And I got a big old thing of cauliflower. You can make a lot of things with cauliflower. So, yeah, it's hot in here. I'm going to put this stuff away before the chocolate melts. Oh, and I got my green juice, which I'll drink right now. Love this stuff. I've been having some leg cramps, so I got some bananas for leg cramps. And there's other stuff, but that's the bulk of what I got. When I stayed at the Home Depot, I went and bought a couple of things, and this is one of the things I bought because I'm having slow draining shower and bathroom sink is slowly draining, and I had read that this green gobbler powder, not the liquid but the powder, is safe for gray tanks. So and that it's an enzyme and works pretty well. You're supposed to put it in at night, leave it overnight, and then flush with hot water in the morning. So I have yet to try it. I will report back on how it goes. Now it seems like I'm kind of getting into the older part of Bozeman, the downtown area, as I actually am heading towards the freeway. Thought I'd show you a little bit of Bozeman. I don't have time to explore it much today. I've got a timetable, and I would love to. I don't think I have time. I already explored Helena, Montana this morning, and I'm kind of pooped from that, so I don't have time to do this. I'm actually getting a little sleepy. I need to get to the rest stop where I'm staying overnight and lie down and go to sleep. Yeah, there's all those neat red brick buildings again. Like they had in Helena. Some road construction going on. It's 87 degrees. The sign says. Some other cool looking buildings over there. I think there's a university here in Bozeman. I like university towns. Well, just pulled into my rest stop, but it's not really a rest stop. It's just a parking area, and there's a vault toilet over there. And there's nobody here at all. But supposedly you can spend the night here. That's what the internet said. So I am going to do just that. I'm tired. It's about 6 o'clock. I'm going to have some dinner and head to bed. Just a shot of the parking lot that I spent the night in last night. So there's a lot of open spots, but this trucker decided to get right next to me. So I think I was smelling the fumes. The room is right here, and the truck is right there making the noise. So amazing I slept through any of that. Good morning. It's the morning after spending the night in a rest area. It's not really a rest area. They called it a parking area. And I slept pretty well, even though there's a big semi truck next to me running their generator, I guess it is. It's so funny because it's just this huge parking lot and there's plenty of empty spaces, but the trucker had to park right next to me. So I'm breathing in the fumes from the diesel, you know, all night long, and I woke up with a horrible headache. I had my vents open because last night it was so hot in here, and so I had my fan and my vent going, right? So that got me cool enough to be able to fall asleep, but then I woke up you know, a little cold actually, because it does cool down dramatically here. And then I turned the fan off but left the vent open so I'd have some fresh air. And little did I know that I'd be breathing in toxic fumes probably from the rig next to me. So I woke up with this bad headache, which you know, is something I've suffered from for years, but lately my headaches have been so much better. So it was kind of a harkening back to the old days when I always had constant headaches. So anyways, I'm anxious to get on the road today. I'm going to be going to a little town, through a little town called Livingston, which is supposed to be a cute little town in Montana. Hopefully I'll have some time to explore there. And then it's on to Yellowstone. Yay! Yellowstone! I'm going to be coming from the most northern entrance, and I'm going to explore the Mammoth Hot Springs area first, and then I'm going to go down to my campground via the west side. I understand the northeast side is really you know, windy terrain with steep drop-offs and all of that. So I don't really want to go that route. So I'm going to take the most westerly route of the upper loop. Yellowstone has 2 loops, and I'll be staying, like if this is the upper loop, I'm going to be staying kind of down in the what would be southeast corner for a few days, and then I'm going to the loop down below and staying in the southeast corner there of that loop. So I'm going to have a chance to explore both loops. So I'm very excited. I'm a little nervous about the mountain driving there. This trip has been an absolute blast for me, but the driving has not been getting any easier for me, unfortunately. I was hoping that it would, but you know, I get pretty nervous, especially when it's like a 2-lane road and cars are piling up behind me, because I don't like, you know, I don't like to go the speed limits they're posting here, 70 miles per hour, 80 miles per hour. I'm not going to go that fast. For one thing, you know, I don't get very good mileage. And for another, I'm just not comfortable, you know, going so fast. Yesterday, coming from Helena, Montana to Bozeman wasn't too bad, because some of the time you had it was kind of my favorite road, where you have 2 lanes on one side and then, you know, 2 lanes on the other side in the opposite direction. And there was those fumes are really bothering my asthma. And then you had no on ramps and off ramps to deal with, you know, with cars oncoming onto the freeway and stuff. So that's kind of my favorite. So if I could be in the far right lane, I could go the speed limit that was comfortable for me. And people could go around me easily. But for part of the road yesterday, it was a single lane, and that really I was white knuckling it. Anyways, you know, I was commenting yesterday about the smoky skies that I'm seeing here in Montana, and hazy skies, and I'm going to get on my soapbox a little bit here and talk about something that's important to me. Because, yeah, I mean, this channel is like all about camping and fun and games and seeing beautiful places. But you can't help but, when you're traveling, to be more aware of the impact of the climate crisis we're in, to communities, to wildlife, and the fact that I feel this sort of profound sadness sometimes when I see some of these beautiful places, you know, and I feel emotional about this. That, you know, they may not be around for very long. I might be, you know, lucky enough to see it now, but future generations may not be able to see some of this beauty if we don't do something. I feel like the climate crisis is the most important thing of our time. Nothing else matters. None of us, all this silly, distracting, stupid stuff does not matter. If we don't have an earth to live on, and if we're not leaving a legacy to our future children, grandchildren, and generations, what does all this other stuff matter then, you know? The future generations are going to be cursing us for not doing something and just sitting by idly and doing nothing to stop this crisis. If you think that fires are not getting worse, then you're in denial. You know, it's that thing of where, like, your car is making this funny sound and you just say, yeah, maybe it's going to go away. You know, I don't want to spend the money. I don't want to deal with that. Or you've got a toothache and you say to yourself, I think I'm just going to wait to see if it gets better and goes away. I don't want to deal with it. I don't want to deal with the potential pain of surgery or whatever it might be. I don't want to spend the money. It's too expensive. It's too difficult. And then before you know it, you know, you have a full-blown crisis on your hands. And too many times we do that with things in our lives, where we wait till it's too late. And we're getting to that point where it's going to be too late for us to do something about this climate crisis. You know, we got to get off of our doofus and realize it's, you know, it's happening and we have to do something. I was doing a little bit of research about the koala bears in Australia that I was talking about yesterday. And Australia has had to put the koala bears on the endangered list, you know. And I was reading that koala bears, their instinct is to climb up to the top of a tree and curl into a ball to get safe from the fires, because they can't move fast enough to get away. And the fire climbs up the tree and burns them alive, and they scream. And we're allowing this to happen. It's not right. It's not right. They're innocent. We're doing this to them. We're allowing this to happen. I'm a great animal lover, and it just breaks my heart to think that things like that are happening to our innocent wildlife. It's not their fault, and they're suffering so much. Why do we turn our backs? Why do we just let things happen? And now my head's hurting because I'm crying. Ow. 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 The headache's getting worse because of the pressure. Stop crying. Ow. Ow. I mean, I've been seeing some beautiful wildlife on this trip, and I've been seeing beautiful nature. And it hurts me to think that they could suffer, and that they are suffering. They're losing habitat and all kinds of things. We are in denial. Just like when you get that toothache and you pretend nothing's wrong. That's what we're doing. That's our stage right now, in denial. I had that happen to me years ago. I started to have this pain in my lower pelvis on the left side. And, you know, I had suffered from female pain, you know, for years. And so I thought maybe it was that, although I knew it felt different. And I was having some other symptoms. Symptoms I'd never experienced, like feeling faint, like I was going to faint, and having shivers and stuff, you know. And I kind of intuitively knew something was very wrong and that I had some kind of an infection going on, but I didn't want to go to the doctor because I had no insurance. I was young. I was barely making ends meet. I had no, you know, I mean, there was a huge deductible and everything, and I just couldn't afford it. I was barely making my bills as it was. So I just kept hoping it was going to get better. Well, it didn't, and I nearly died. It turned out that I had sepsis. I had a huge abscess in my ovary and on my intestines. And I made it to the emergency room just in the nick of time. Just in the nick of time. My doctor told me afterwards, after they did surgery and I healed from a zillion different antibiotics, that I was a day away from dying. You know, I had let it go for so long, and that's what we're doing with our environment, with the climate right now. If you think that this is going to get better or whatever, it's not. It's getting worse. Studies are showing that fires are burning longer, they're burning hotter, they're more frequent, the seasons are lasting longer. And when the flames are so hot like they were in Australia, they just burn through so fast that the koala bears and other wildlife can't get away soon enough. They can't get away. So now the koala bears are on the endangered list. That's on us. That's us. We did that. Nobody else. It's us that did that, that's allowing that. And if you don't think that's the case, then you're either in denial, or you don't care, you don't have a heart, you don't care, or, you know, you are thinking that there's other things that matter more. Nothing matters more than keeping our planet alive. What are we doing to our future generations, you know? Yeah, I mean, it's nice to be at home and safely ensconced in our homes, and I don't think that sometimes when we're at home that we're totally aware of the impacts that this is having on our planet. And as travel, that it makes you see more what's going on and the impacts. Or it's the scientists that actually get out in the field and start measuring things and studying and things. They see what's happening. Us sitting at home on our little lovely little soft couches watching TV and making our own little meals and stuff and thinking we're fine and we're safe and deluding ourselves is not going to solve this problem. We need to become more aware and stop being in denial about what's happening. So I am profoundly sad and mortified that the koala bears have had to be put on the endangered list, and we're going to be having to put more and more animal species on the endangered list because us humans refuse to do nothing. No, we'll put our focus over there on these silly little things, you know, these silly little issues, because our leaders say, hey, look over there, don't look there, go look over there. You know, that's what they're doing. It's all about distraction and not really looking at the issues that truly matter. And to me, top issue has got to be the climate crisis. And we need to vote with our, you know, dollars, and when we vote, you know, do that, because none of it's going to really matter unless we fix this issue. If anything, you should be heartbroken about the animals dying in excruciating ways. Can you imagine being burned alive. That's got to be one of the most painful deaths that you can imagine. I can't even imagine. I don't know if it ends quickly or what, but it's got to be extremely painful. A painful way to go. So I'm going to get off my soapbox now. I just needed to touch on this and talk about it because it's so top of mind for me as I travel, and I'm wondering, you know, how long is this beautiful scenery going to be around? How long are these beautiful animals going to be around, you know? It's up to us, okay? It's up to us. All right, well, I just parked in downtown Livingston, which is a historic district in town, so it's got more of those wonderful red brick buildings. Let's just check out a little bit of it. Murray Cafe Hotel. We love our seniors. Okay, another National Register of Historic Places. This was built in 1904, began as an elite hotel. I have a lot of the neon signs, which are fun. Ooh, I should have probably put on my jacket. It's a little cold. I'm going to go back and get my jacket. Back where we started. I feel comfortable. My jacket. Some neat building over there. Livingston Depot Center. Oh, I'll have to walk over there at some point. We'll have an art week. Celebrate creativity in September. Nice. Look at this. Fish. Is this a seafood restaurant or what? Fishing permits sold here. It's also, yeah, it looks like it's, I don't know, is it all things fishermen, I guess?